The year was 2431. Earth no longer turned in peace. It twitched in agony. The Orion War had lasted 17 years. 17. Long enough for children to grow up without ever seeing a clear sky. Long enough for names of cities to become mere echoes in transmission logs. New York, Cairo, Tokyo, gone. Just gone. Ash coated the continents. Storms raged across oceans that no longer knew balance. The ionosphere crackled with the ghosts of vaporized satellites, their dying signals looping endlessly in static. And overhead, they watched. The Galactic hegemony, a coalition of ancient empires, calculated, elegant, ruthless. They called humans the infestation, a species that had clawed its way to the stars with blood and fire, then dared to resist annihilation. Every week, another moon fell. Every month, another human colony went dark. Earth was the last, the final ember. Humanity had retreated into its bunkers, deep beneath tectonic plates. Not cities anymore, fortresses. Underground hives of steel, radiation-shielded and faith-starved. Above, only silence, cold, heavy, watching. Most had given up, but not all. High above, in a decaying orbit long abandoned by satellites, something stirred. A shadow among shadows, no signal, no pulse, no ID. It simply existed, a myth. A whisper passed down in drunken mess halls and forgotten war journals. The Iron Halo, no one knew what it really was. Some said it was a failed orbital weapon, too expensive, too unstable. Others believed it was a relic of the first expansion age, when Earth tried to play God and built machines even the builders feared. Whatever it was, it had been silent for centuries, forgotten, until now. Beneath the crust of old Europe, in a war bunker buried below Geneva, General Hanna Velasquez paced alone in the dim blue glow of the Citadel core. She hadn't slept in 4 days. Her uniform was torn at the shoulder, dried blood staining the edges. Her command staff was gone, dead or comatose after the last orbital strike. Only Hanna remained, and a console, still humming, still loyal. Her fingers hovered over the cracked keys. Most systems were dark, defense grids offline, orbital cannons depleted. Even the AI had gone mute 2 days ago, refusing to simulate further losses. She whispered into the silence, "Is this it?" No reply, just the soft hum, and then a flicker. A data string blinked in the corner of the screen. Faint, corrupted, old. Or on Halo.sys, status standby, awaiting human key. Hanna froze. It couldn't be. That system had been redacted before she was born. It wasn't in any active military net, not even the Black Archives. She opened the file. Encrypted. Obsolete. The interface didn't even recognize modern inputs. But then she remembered something. A tune, not a command code, a song. Her grandfather used to hum it when he tucked her in during the blackout years. Back when cities still had curfews and fear was something you lived with like hunger or gravity. She leaned close to the mic and sang softly, shakily, "Saul, Saul, stice of iron, in skies of flame hold the line, remember the name." Silence. Not digital, mechanical, deep, like a cathedral bell from orbit. The ground shook. Above the earth, the iron halo woke up. No one saw it, not at first. No human, no alien scout. It had cloaked itself behind debris rings and gravitational shadows. But now, panels began to unfold like the petals of some ancient warflower. Massive rings spun open, clicking into place with precision engineered before the hegemony had even discovered Earth. Power surged through conduits long thought dead. It wasn't just a satellite. It wasn't just a weapon. It was judgment. And it remembered its name. This is only the beginning. Subscribe and stand with humanity. Day 6230 of the Orion War. No sunrise came. Instead, the sky tore open. A ripple moved across the upper atmosphere like something had punched reality itself. Clouds spiraled inwards. Ion currents arced like veins of lightning, and then it appeared. The Zarthul Requiem, a Leviathan-class dreadnought, 400 kilometers long, shaped like a black cathedral suspended upside down, lined with spines that shimmered with antimatter charge. It descended not with fire, but with authority, like a god stepping down from the heavens, or a noose tightening. Panic gripped the bunkers of Earth. Generals screamed into dead comms. Civilians prayed to gods who hadn't listened in decades. Orbital sensors couldn't even render the full shape, just a silhouette, a shadow bigger than any moon. They called it a planet killer. It had already erased Europa Station, dismantled Neptune's colonies atom by atom. Every fleet Earth had sent to stop it, silenced in seconds, and now it hovered above Earth like a final sentence. Deep underground, General Hanna Velasquez stood before the war map. Most of it was red. No, not red. Black. Systems offline. Fleets gone. Ground defenses meaningless. They had no missiles left, no fighters, no hope. But the console still glowed. One line of green. She stared at it, jaw clenched, knuckles white. Her breath trembled. All her life she had trained to command ships, to manage wars with precision and poise. But this was different. This was faith. Halo, she whispered. You see it? No response. Just a soft, pulsing light. Above the Earth, the iron halo remained still, silent, watching. The Requiem descended lower, its central core opened like a flower, no, a maw. Energy readings spiked beyond anything Earth's sensors could handle. Fusion storms, antimatter pulse buildup. Light bent around its center as it prepared to fire. The hegemony didn't issue threats. It didn't send ultimatums. It demonstrated. And what it was about to demonstrate was extinction. Inside the iron halo, deep within its cold titanium heart, something shifted. A signal. Faint, fragile, a voice. General Velasquez, still whispering to the console, finished the tune her grandfather once sang. Her voice cracked at the final word. Remember the name. Click. System override accepted. Human key confirmed. The screen flashed white, then black. Then, Solstice Online, the lights in the room dimmed. Not from power loss, but from reverence. A voice, calm, ageless, spoke from the console. Threat level, Omega Prime. Planet Killer class confirmed. Target, Zarthul Requiem. Authorization granted. Velasquez didn't issue orders. She didn't have to. The halo was awake now, and it remembered. Above, orbiting like a silent blade, the iron halo shifted. Its 12 rings began to rotate, slowly at first, then faster, then faster. Reactors flared to life. Arcs of energy coiled between its spires, feeding into a central core that hadn't burned since before Luna was colonized. The Requiem sensed it. It paused. For the first time in its existence, the Leviathan hesitated. Too late. The shot came without sound. A beam of compressed solar rage focused through 1,000 layers of crystal lattice acceleration. It didn't just strike the Requiem, it unmade it. No explosion, no debris. One moment it was there. The next, it was a memory. Silence followed. Across the system, hegemony fleets picked up the energy signature, and they panicked. Some turned back immediately. Others tried to jam the signal, thinking it was some trick. But those who saw it, truly saw it, didn't need a translation. It was a message burned into the cosmos itself. We are still here, and we remember how to burn. They thought it was a ghost weapon, a myth buried beneath the weight of forgotten wars and lost empires. But now the galaxy knew the truth, and it shook. The obliteration of the Zarthul Requiem didn't just end an invasion. It cracked the illusion that humanity was done, finished, extinct in all but name. Across the solar system, alien war councils scrambled. Protocols failed. The hegemony's AI cores, designed to model 1,000 outcomes per second, couldn't explain what had happened. The numbers made no sense. The energy output? Impossible. The technology? Obsolete by their standards, and yet it worked. It worked better than anything they had ever seen. On the outer rim, a transmission bounced between fleets. One word, Halo. Some dismissed it, a fluke, a last-ditch effort by desperate primitives. Others weren't so sure, because what came next shouldn't have been possible. The iron halo moved, not just adjusted orbit, not adrift. It repositioned, with intent, with force. Its 12 rings spun like gears in a celestial engine, each shift humming across the void in subspace tremors. Observers reported gravitational anomalies, temporal drag, time, ever so slightly warped around it, And then it did something no one had prepared for. It spoke, not in words, not in language, but in action. It targeted the command node of the hegemony's Orion fleet, the Arx Valiune stationed just beyond Mars, monitoring Earth's fall. A vessel 10 times the size of Requiem, armored in phase glass, shielded by time-scrambled tech thought to be unbreakable. The Halo didn't fire a beam this time. It opened a singularity, ripped it open like tearing silk. The void screamed. In one impossible moment, the Arx Valiune folded inward, collapsed into a point of white-hot compression and vanished. No wreckage, no explosion, just a hole in the stars where it had been. Across the hegemony, panic turned to terror. Their histories told them humans were volatile, unrefined, primitive. They had no idea. The Halo had been made not by politicians, not by conquerors, but by a civilization on the edge. It was humanity's answer to extinction, not to win, but to ensure no one else did either. It was never a shield, it was a promise, and now it had awakened. On Earth, the silence in the bunkers broke into stunned cries. Cheers, tears, people poured into the ruins, looking up at the broken skies. They saw nothing. The Halo stayed hidden, cloaked, waiting, but they felt it. Hope, real hope. For the first time in decades, humanity didn't just survive, it struck back. In the Orion sector, hundreds of alien ships began to pull away. Too slow. The Halo sent out pulses, quantum strikes, designed to predict movement, not chase it. Ships disappeared before they could even begin evasive maneuvers, like thunder striking before the lightning. Commanders screamed over their channels. Orders collided. Fleets disbanded mid-battle. This was not war anymore. It was a reckoning. And in every corner of the galaxy, species who had once mocked the Earthborn, the stubborn apes who rose too fast, started to remember. They remembered why humanity was feared. Not for its size, not for its age, but for its madness, its audacity. The willingness to build something like the Iron Halo and leave it drifting in silence just in case the stars ever forgot. Now they would never forget. And above Earth, silent once more, the Halo slowed its rings, paused, watched, waiting for the next move. The galaxy was listening now, and humanity was speaking in fire. The war didn't end in one day, but something far greater happened. The galaxy stopped laughing. For centuries, humans were the punchline, the upstarts, the wild experiment that got too far before it burned out. Every admiral, every diplomat, every strategist in the hegemony had agreed. Earth would fall. It was inevitable. But inevitability shattered in orbit that day, and the pieces never fell back into place. After the Iron Halo fired, silence ruled the stars. No counterstrike. No retaliation. Just retreat. Not organized, not proud. Fleeing. Panic layered over protocol. Command lines broke down, entire fleets vanished into FTL corridors, some colliding mid-jump, desperate to escape something they couldn't understand. What scared them wasn't just the weapon, it was the possibility. If humanity had hidden this, what else had they buried? What else had they left, just waiting, cloaked in the cold? For the first time in the war, diplomats arrived before soldiers. They came not with demands, but with questions, with caution, with fear stitched into every word they spoke. And Earth said nothing. No message, no broadcast. The Iron Halo hovered in orbit like a silent monolith, its rings still now, its weapons dormant. But the message had already been delivered, and it echoed. Across fractured galaxies, species who had cheered Earth's downfall began to reconsider their alliances. Traders rerouted. Pirate fleets vanished. Even the Reclaimers, those ancient scavengers who feasted on dying worlds, stopped short of Sol's system. They had seen the footage. They had felt the pulse through the dark. Something had returned to the void. Something old, something angry. On Earth, beneath the burned skies and shattered cities, humanity began to rise. Not in triumph, but in awe. Survivors crawled out of bunkers. Children looked to the stars, no longer with fear, but with wonder. They did